What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. So in this video, I want to give you a really deep dive into all these different LLMs. And now, listen, this isn't the most entertaining topic of all time, but if you really actually want to use AI to the fullest extent you can, you need to understand these things and you need to understand how LLMs work. It's almost like if I'm trying to build pieces for a house, but I don't understand like how to lay a foundation, or I don't understand how the house is constructed, or like what is inside the walls. Like, you have to know these things. And I've learned a lot of this year building our startup, Kendo AI. So let's just dive into this. So again, most people are using AI completely wrong. Say this basically every video. They're always asking what AI model is the best. There is no best model, okay? It is what is the best model for what I want to use it for. So we spent the last year, Kendo uses every major LLM in like a stacked way. So we've used all these. I'm very familiar with all of these. And so what is the best? Well, it depends on what you want to use it for, to be honest. 2025 has been insane for AI. So in just the first 8 months of this year, guys, we've seen more breakthroughs than like the last 3 years. So we had DeepSeek release. I remember the market dropped because of that. OpenAI O3 Mini came out, had more memory. Google Gemini. I'm not a big Gemini user, to be honest. OpenAI O3 and O4 Mini and O4 Mini High, which are stupid names, were released. Claude released Sonnet 4, which is actually really good. I use that a lot. In June, we had Gemini 2.5, more developer-centered stuff. July, we had Grok 4, which is, honestly, I don't really use Grok 4 to do the same things I do with GPT and Claude. It's cool, but like I've still got better output from Claude and GPT. And now, here, probably, honestly, in like the next month, I think we're going to get GPT-5, which is supposed to be pretty great. That's what they say. So let's break this down. Within each LLM, so you can call these labs. So like OpenAI is a company, Anthropic is a company, right? Gemini is from Google. You have different models from these labs. And now what you need to understand, I'm literally going to draw for you guys here. Let me get a marker. So if we'll just say this is the LLM, okay? If this is the LLM, and these are buckets of data, every LLM has different buckets of data. They have different structures of these buckets of data. They have different data sources. They're organized in different ways. They have different like master commands. All of these are different. So imagine like an infinite galaxy over here that is fed obviously to this LLM. They're all different. They're all different. So 4.0 is on a bit of a different data set than 4.1, as is Anthropic completely, etc. So you need to understand that first and foremost. But secondly, you got to decide what you want to use and what you're using it for, and then it's like matching a tool. I'm not going to use a hammer to dig a hole, right? It's common sense. So GPT 4.0 is kind of your army knife, your Swiss Army knife. So it's their main model, text, images, voice. I use 4.0 most of the day. It's fast, it's pretty reliable, it's pretty good. GPT 4.1, a little bit different, is better at coding. So it's better at understanding code structure and syntax and reading code like we would read code, but obviously AI is doing it for you. And they have larger context windows because it has to read databases of code. So again, you see how it's like kind of fit for the purpose it's doing here. 4.1 Mini is fast, free, surprisingly capable for most coding needs, and it's great for like intro coding. This is more hardcore. This is more, I just need quick code done. 4.5 is creativity. So writing, this is like their Claude, basically. I still think Claude is better. And then you get into these different models. And again, I'm not going to read through these one by one because I don't want to bore you guys. But again, you need to understand what it does. Like, what am I trying to achieve here? So Anthropic is the company behind Claude. So Sonnet is one of the strongest coding models. So Claude actually has Claude Code, which is a separate sort of interface than you would get from normal, like logging into Claude and even just asking like normal Claude to do these things for you. But again, let's compare these two, just to give you context. So 200,000 context tokens for API. Do they have their API one here? 200,000, 1 million context window. So there's a difference there, okay? Opus 4 you have different pricing as well. So this is really only matters if you're actually like building AI products. So like for example, in Kendo, and I just use this as an example because I'm actually doing this thing. We have different costs for different models, for different outputs, for different things. So like one call type might run off this, one call type might run off that, a call review might run off this. And so we have to know what is the cost of all these things, how much output are we getting, how many tokens can it handle, what's the context memory if I run an hour-long call, if I run an hour-long call review by uploading a call, all these things, right? So then we get into Google. Google, I'm gonna be honest, I don't use a ton other than VO3 and like video generation. So I can't really speak on these a ton. But Google 2.5 Pro handles up to 2 million tokens, which is quite a lot. So when you see this, what does this mean? This is the memory. So how many tokens can it remember in context? So if I give it a big file and then I ask it to do something, it has to go back through that file and like read it basically. And so if I can only handle 200,000 context tokens, or you can just call them tokens, I'm going to forget things, right? And that's why we even use context profiles in this like JSON language in these other videos. And so this can handle more tokens. And basically what I want to get across to you guys is just understanding what the fuck this means. Like more tokens, cost per tokens, and output and input. That's all you need to know. And then what is it built for? Then we have Grok. Grok I've used a little bit. This is more for enterprise people. So this is people that have AI like use case, like they have software or they have like an AI tool or something. Grok 4 is the thing you see on Twitter. What Grok 4 is really good at, if you were going to, let's say, build an AI, I would use Grok 4 to do like some human-like conversation. It's very conversational. It talks crap to people all the time. Like it's kind of a realistic AI in the sense that like OpenAI and Claude are very professional and very like corporate-y vibe, right? So again, differences. DeepSeek, I haven't used DeepSeek. Apparently it's great at math, logic, and programming, but it is very powerful for the price and for basically the size that it is. So DeepSeek is like the little guy that punches above its weight class, essentially. Then you get into specialized models. So Perplexity and things like Mistral. So what is Perplexity and why is this different than these other things? It's a full research, so think of deep research from OpenAI, but this is what it's built for. So obviously it's going to be better at that specific task. But again, like I can kind of use Google for most of this. This is like an agent doing research in a sense. It's still good. I think their business model is flawed. I see a lot of guys talking about they're going to go bankrupt on their valuation versus their ARR. But anyway, I divest or whatever you say from that. This is like a research model. So I can basically go to Perplexity and say, hey, I want to do research on this. And it will do really deep research for me. It's specifically built for that. So it's going to be better at that than an LLM that can do 50 different things, right? Specificity and using the right tool for the job is a big thing. And then what is Mistral? So Mistral is one of your best options for open source AI, offering like really good tools if you're building AI tools without locking you in as a vendor. So it's kind of like, I'm gonna put this in normie language for you guys. It's like an open API. It's like an open, like a white label kind of a thing, if that makes sense, okay? This means you have full freedom to modify your stuff, improve, deploy AI solutions without really needing to depend on all these external API providers. So when you guys get into building AI stuff, there are so many APIs. We have a voice API, a text-to-speech API, a chat API, this API, LLM API, like everything is connected to each other and talking. And so Mistral, best use case, like we're getting into, is fully customizable AI that you can stack for enterprise stuff without having to have all of these like millions of different APIs and everything, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Now, that leaves us with one question. What should you use for each model? This was basically just a high-level overview so you understand the tools at your disposal, but here's the real sauce. So if I'm writing content, if I want actual content like copy, I'm making copy as a service, Claude 4. If I just want quick stuff, like, hey, like write this for me, like do the task for me like a VA, GPT 4.0. If I want to do coding related stuff, complex, Claude Opus 4. Fast code, GPT or Claude Sonnet 4, which I use that a lot. Quick debugging, Sonnet 4, GPT 4.1, or O4 Mini, okay? Scientific research, math and reasoning, Gemini. So this is more of a logical model than it is like a workhorse model. Advanced problems, GPT-03, okay? Research and analysis, current information, Perplexity, and Grok. Grok is connected to Twitter, which is a great source of information. Long documents, Gemini. Deep analysis, Gemini or Claude Sonnet 4. General chat, 4.0. GPT is best as like a VA for these things. The most natural is Claude Sonnet 4, but I'd also say Grok, kind of. But obviously it says least filtered. You can kind of, we'll add this here. You can kind of split these. So again, guys, make sure you're using the right tool for the job. Again, this is not going to get 5,000 views. It's not the most entertaining topic of all time, but will it make you money? Absolutely. And this is why we have such a good product for such a small team at Kendo. It's because we really understand this and we're using the right tool for the job. Okay, so hope that makes sense. See you guys on the next video.